Welcome back to another episode of An Entrepreneur's Journey. My name is Nicholas Coriano, and today we're going to talk about land contracts and land offers and how beautiful it is when you've invested and somebody just sends you a letter out of nowhere to buy your real estate. Here we go, folks. This is what I want to show you guys today. So if you guys don't know, I buy and sell land at homescape.net, HOMSKAPE.net, shameless plug. It directs to the Land Watch account where I host a bunch of land that I sell. And I bought this land a while back, but I wanted to show you guys something today. These are offer contracts. And here's an interesting thing. When I started investing in land, a lot of people weren't investing in land. And if you look up now, if you look up land investing on YouTube, I'm sure there were people just investing in land, but it seemed to be like a smaller market. You know, it was underserved, not a lot of competition. And now it seems that there's a lot of competition and a lot of people looking to buy land. But this is one of the beauties of that competition entering the marketplace is these land contracts. So whenever you buy land, real estate, building, house, condo, any kind of real property, what ends up happening is your name goes on the registrar's office at the county or the city where the land or the property is located, the real estate is located. And a lot of wholesalers or dealers or entrepreneurs, whatever you want to call them, they get this list of these properties and they send people offers, usually below market value. And they're hoping that they can pick up the land cheap. Sometimes they send offers above market value. That doesn't really matter. What matters is, are you happy with the number that it came in at? And I'll show you this one here. This is for 1.4 acres. I'm going to try not to get that name in there so I don't have to cut it out later. But as you can see there, they have a purchase price of $512. And over here, the offer amount is $377. So this is pretty awesome, right? I just went down to the mailbox and I got these two letters within 2 days apart. I wanted to make this video that shows, you know, if you invest in, especially raw land, I'm not talking about other things, but in raw land, I've seen this quite often where I'll get offers all the time. And if I sign this and send this back, the buyer will buy it. But I want to give you a little caveat on some of these offers for some of you guys that are land buyers and already in the business. If the offer is contingent on something, it is not a real offer. So most offer contracts, when somebody sends you an offer contract, usually you can just sign it and now the deal's closed. So if this was a true legitimate offer contract, I could sign this right now and I would be guaranteed this $377. Now, some of you guys may be asking about the price. I made 300% on this one and 500% on this one. So even though they're $500, I picked these properties up for nothing. But my point is, if your offer is contingent, so for example, this offer clearly states, it'll say purchase agreement, right? But then under here, it'll say this offer is contingent upon. So if you sign this, you don't have an executable contract. If this was a real purchase agreement, it wouldn't be contingent on anything. And what would happen is, as soon as you sign it and you mailed it, you've actually formed a legally binding contract, and now the person has to sell you the land. But when it's contingent on something, for example, let me read some of these things. So here, right, they're sending me a contract, but they're saying it's contingent on their confirmation of the parcel price. Well, they usually have to be reasonable in finding out whether the parcel size was right. But what happens if this guy's lazy? He doesn't show up, right? Or he doesn't, do his due diligence. Then the contract lapses. And same thing over here. This offer is contingent upon buyer confirming and approving the tax. So this is buyer confirming and approving the back tax amount, right? So this is information they could have got before. If any back tax is there, they could have got this information before they sent out this piece of paper. But what these contingent offers are, because they don't look like an offer, right? This one says offer to buy land. So it looks like, if you look at the contract real quick, you would think, man, I got an offer. I can accept and I'll have a legally binding contract. But if it's contingent on something, it's not really an offer. It's actually an invitation to make an offer. So when you sign this back, you're actually offering them to sell them your property. Why does that matter? Because in one case, if it was a real offer, you could literally sign this paper. This is as good as cash. Whereas when you have an invitation offer, you're really just starting negotiations with a piece of paper like this. So, but again, I think land buying, for those who follow me, I love land investments. They're not making any more of it. Everything comes from the ground except for rain and air, you know, whether it's cotton, plastic, minerals, anything, oil, it's all coming from the ground. So I love land investments. But if you guys are into land investing, understand that when you get these offer contracts, if it says contingent on something, it's not an offer. right? It's an invitation to make an offer, and then when you send them your signed contract back, now you're kind of, you've opened the offer up to sell the property for that amount. So I hope this was helpful. If you guys ever thought about investing in land, I have another channel on YouTube, HOMSKAPE, and I put up a bunch of stuff about land and legal stuff about land when I was. Hope this was helpful, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Subscribe to the page.